Picture the most capable AI models locked behind a paid API, where you never see the weights and never truly own the system running your prompts. Now picture a model you can simply download, run on your own machine, and reshape however you like. That second world is where Z.AI, the lab formerly known as GPU AI, keeps pushing. Their newest release is GLM 5.3, an open-weight model that arrived in August 2026 as the successor to GLM 5.2. Let's unpack what it is and why open weights matter. First, let us look at the divide GLM 5.3 is built to close. Consider the frontier models that dominate the headlines. Most of them are closed. You reach them through a metered API, you cannot inspect the weights, and you cannot run them on hardware you control. That is convenient, but it means your data leaves your walls, your costs scale with every single call, and the vendor can quietly change or retire the model underneath you at any moment. Here, the open weight approach flips that. Z.AI publishes GLM 5.3 for anyone to download, typically on a hub like Hugging Face and under a permissive license, so you can host it yourself, fine-tune it, and keep every request on your own infrastructure. According to Z.AI, it succeeds GLM 5.2, tuned for stronger coding and reasoning while remaining free to download and self-host. So how do we actually go from a public download to a running model? Follow it step by step. Everything starts with the weights themselves. Z.AI posts GLM 5.3 to an open hub like Hugging Face, so you pull the checkpoint straight to your own storage. Because it ships as an open weight release rather than an API key, nothing gates that first step. You are not renting access to a black box. You are taking a copy of the actual model home with you. Once the weights are local, you serve them with an inference engine. Teams typically reach for GLM or SGLang, the same open tools that hosted GLM 5.3's predecessors, and point them at your own GPUs. This is the step that turns a folder of tensors into a live endpoint. Nothing about the request ever has to leave the hardware you chose to run it on. Now, the model does the work you deployed it for. GLM 5.3 is aimed squarely at coding and reasoning, the areas I reportedly pushed hardest over GLM 5.2, so it suits agentic coding, tool use, and multi-step problem solving. You send it the same kinds of tasks you would hand a closed frontier model, only now the whole loop runs inside your own stack. Finally, you own the outcome, not just the answer. Because the weights are yours, you can fine-tune on private data, pin a version so it never shifts under you, and keep sensitive requests off a third-party server. That control is the whole reason open weight models like GLM 5.3 matter in a market where the strongest systems are usually closed. Strip it back, and three things make GLM 5.3 worth your attention. They ship the actual weights openly. GLM 5.3 continues Z.AI's habit of releasing its GLM family for download under a permissive license, the same lineage that made GLM 4.5 and 4.6 popular self-hosted choices. That means you can inspect it, run it offline, and build on it without asking permission, which is exactly what closed frontier APIs will not let you do. They target coding and reasoning first. According to Z.AI, GLM 5.3 sharpens exactly those skills over GLM 5.2, the abilities that matter most for agents that write code and chain tool calls together. The GLM line has leaned into agentic coding for a while now, so a successor tune for stronger reasoning is aimed right at the workloads developers care about today. They come with real trade-offs. Running a large open weight model yourself means owning the GPUs, the serving stack, and the operations that a hosted API would handle for you. Any specific benchmark or parameter claim for GLM 5.3 is worth checking against Z.AI's own release notes, since numbers this fresh are easy to overstate. Open weights by you control, not zero effort. All right, let's lock in the essentials. Think of GLM 5.3 as Z.AI's August 2026 open weight model, the successor to GLM 5.2, built to push coding and reasoning while staying free to download and self-host. Open weights are the whole point. You can pull the model from a hub like Hugging Face, serve it with GLM or SGLang, fine-tune it, and keep every request on hardware you control. Remember where it sits. GLM 5.3 is one of the leading open efforts pushing against closed frontier models, alongside labs like DeepSeek and Quinn in the open versus closed race. Just keep the trade-offs honest. Self-hosting means you own the GPUs and the operations, and any fresh benchmark deserves a check against AI's own notes. If you like open AI broken down without the hype, we have a whole library of it waiting at Standarity.com. So come explore,